Welcome to Motors and Medicine. On today's episode, I'm going to be reviewing another vehicle that belongs to a colleague of mine. Today, we got the special treat of reviewing a 2023 Corvette C8 70th Anniversary Edition with the Z51 track pack. This particular vehicle, this C8, has a long heritage. So I'm going to give you a little bit of brief history with the Corvette first. The C1 Corvette was introduced back in 1953, which is why this is the 70th year. And in 1953, the Corvette came out with a 235 cubic inch or 3.9 liter engine that made 150 horsepower. Cool thing about that particular first year run is that they only made 300 Corvettes back then. So they're super rare. I think there's only about 200 of them left to this day. But now we come up, head forward 70 years. Now we've got this awesome C8 Corvette that was long awaited. Back in the day, in the 60s, Zora Arkus Duntov, the Corvette chief engineer, really wanted to move the Corvette's powertrain from the front to the back and make it a mid-engine car. He just never had that come to fruition. But back in 2020, Chevy engineers finally decided to make that wish happen. And so they moved the power plant from the front to the back. Now the weight distribution is like 60-40, 60 in the back, 40 in the rear. And it makes this car hook up incredibly well. So this particular Corvette C8 was outfitted with the Z51 track pack, which gave it the 495 horsepower rating, as well as the MagnaRide suspension. The car was also outfitted with an incredible PPF protection all over the entire car, done here locally in Utah. So if you live here locally in the Provo area, you can head over to, it's called Ceramic Pro Elite. Provo.com is the website. And Ceramic Pro Elite is run by Jerry Olivera. Fantastic gentleman, makes incredibly good product there as far as installation goes. He does ceramic coating, he also does PPF, but this particular car had incredible PPF coverage, so it's protected whenever you're driving around. I encourage you guys, if you have a vehicle that you want to protect, get it covered with some PPF, and if you get a chance, go down to see Jerry Olivera in Provo. I'll leave a link in the description. This particular car also came with 3LT interior, which I'll show you a little clip of. And then also quad exhaust instead of the central exhaust that is pretty typical for the Corvette. But the new Z06 does return to its central exit exhaust system. I will also pan over the engine real quick and let you guys see that. All right. All right, so we're back. I've gotten in the driver's seat, fired it up. Now I put this vehicle in sport mode. We're gonna see how well it performs. So we're gonna go for a little drive. Now, as with all vehicles that are low, you have to really approach these entrances and exits very slowly at about a 45-degree angle to avoid causing any damage. All right, we're going to hang right here on this road and open it up just a little bit, see how it performs. I'm curious because I'm used to driving my Mustang, which has about 900 horsepower supercharged. This is a naturally aspirated vehicle, but it's pretty significantly got an advantage just because of the all the weight over the back tires. So here we go, we're gonna open it up. Woo! Oh yeah, baby. This thing got up to 80 like in no time flat. Like I said, this car makes 495 horsepower. Pretty equivalent torque, about 450, 460 torque, something like that. The key about this car is that because it's got such an incredible weight distribution, it takes off the line incredibly fast. It handles incredibly well. Driving it now, my driving impression, it's very tight. It feels like it's got a very taut suspension. This particular car is fitted with the Magna Ride suspension with the Z51 package. Drives incredibly well. It's very responsive. It has, you know, just a little tiny bit of input and it's moving. So I like the steering. Off center, it seems a little bit, maybe a little bit numb, but this car is incredible as far as its road manners. Suspension is a little bit tight, but not jouncy. It's compliant. Yeah, we're taking it into a curve now. It seems to be taking it pretty nicely. Steering wheel's giving me just the right amount of input there. All right, we're going to be making a right-hand turn here and see how she drives. So it's an interesting comparison here. When I opened it up, it pulls pretty hard, but I could definitely feel that once you get up into that peak, it doesn't have like the higher top end like my Mustang does, and with good reason. I mean, my Mustang has a supercharger, so it's not apples and oranges, or rather, it's not apples to apples. It's like apples to oranges comparing those two cars from an acceleration standpoint. But this car is incredible. I love the seating position. I love that you've got good view out the back. Clearly, because it's a mid-engine car, you're not going to have the view out the back that you would otherwise with a regular vehicle. But it's got pretty good view out the back, pretty good panoramic view out the front. And in sport mode, this thing, I could definitely tell it got a little bit tighter on the suspension and the throttle response. The mapping is a little bit tighter in sport mode. But this thing's incredible. It drives really well. Now, along the lines of this C8 Corvette, the current Z06 that's out right now, the C8 Z06, has a naturally aspirated flat plane crank that's 5.5 liters, making 670 horsepower. It's an incredible car. It has a Ferrari-esque sound, but it makes more power naturally aspirated than any other naturally aspirated vehicle in history when it comes to flat plane cranks and mid-engine vehicles. V8s, that is, as well. The Z06, quite a bit more expensive than this car. This car comes in at about $100,000. The Z06 is about $120,000, $130,000. Obviously, way more than that with the current markups, but it's still an incredible sounding vehicle. This car still sounds pretty good considering it's just a small block V8, and considering that this car hasn't really strayed far from the original ingredients back in the 50s. The V8 that they introduced back then was like a 4.3 liter V8, and it had maybe 190 horsepower, something like that, but it was still a cam-in block V8 just like this one is. This one's just been optimized in every which way. This car's incredible. Now, to give credit to Chevy for creating an incredibly performing mid-engine vehicle is just selling them short. The reality is here that they're going to be coming out with a ZR1 here pretty soon, C8, that's going to have the Z06's 670 horsepower engine, but with twin turbos. The rumor is it's going to make in that neighborhood of about 800 horsepower or so. Alright, so we're going to back this car up. Then we're going to do a sound clip. And then I'm going to call it a day. I don't want to get too close so that I can have some room to get a good sound clip here. That should do. Let's put on the parking brake. Alright, one more pause of the video and then we're going to hit the sound clip and then we'll end the video there. Alright, we're back. Now we're back in the parking lot. I'm going to go ahead and fire this up so you can give you guys a sound clip and we'll end the video there. Alright guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed that sound clip. It sounds pretty dang awesome. For being a naturally aspirated V8, this car is superb. Just incredible. Like always, please, if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed this, content, please give it a thumbs up, like it, subscribe if you haven't. It'll help the channel grow. And on the next video, we're going to hop into another car that I get a chance and opportunity to review. And I'm going to keep doing this review series for the next little while, just to kind of change the pace a little bit with the channel. So until then, I appreciate all your support. This is Motors and Medicine signing off. Thanks.